Hey everyone, what's up? I just wanted to share with you the state of affairs of my attic when I initially moved into the house. In the first couple pictures, you'll see a picture of an antenna that was up in the attic. I don't even own a TV, so I removed the whole antenna. In hindsight, someone told me that you can get a whole bunch of channels, like up to 50, with a big rabbit ears thing like that, plus it's up out of the way. So maybe you want to leave it, but I knew it wasn't for me, so I got rid of that thing and recycled it. The second thing, in some of the pictures you're going to see a big mound of fiberglass insulation. The reason there's a big mound of fiberglass insulation is because of something called wind washing. Wind washing is when air comes in through the part of your roof that overhangs. This area is called the soffit. So if here's the side of your house and here's the roof, this little spot that overhangs the siding is called the soffit. Wind gets in there and it blows all your insulation back, and then you have no insulation on that part of your roof. I mean, no insulation on that part of your ceiling, so that's not a good thing. Huge mound in that one area, so that needs to be taken care of by putting the insulation back and then putting in some baffles to direct the air when it comes in up and above the insulation, so it doesn't blow the insulation around. You can see all of the, I forget if they're called the ceiling joists, but the pieces of wood that go across. And that's because I only have about 4 or 5 inches of blown fiberglass insulation in my attic. After I've hence done some work, and I have the equivalent basically of R10. That means that the R value of insulation is its resistance to heat flow. You want insulation that has a very high resistance to heat flow. If you are in the Madison, Wisconsin area, they recommend code today is a minimum of R49 and a maximum of R60. So in my attic, a 1953 or 54 house, I've got up there R10. That's embarrassing. Okay, so that needs to be fixed. If you can see the tops of your wooden joists in your ceiling, you need more insulation. You're going to see a picture of a bunch of fiberglass bats that are kind of wrapped around. They're yellow. They're wrapped around the bathroom fan. Okay, they're just trying to insulate it probably, and actually they're probably trying to air seal it. I'm going to rip all that out, and we're going to stop, drop, and air seal before we do anything else. There's one other set of pictures in there, and it's a picture of the side of my chimney. And next to the chimney, you can see some water marks there. That's because basically water's coming in from the roof, going through the roof, and dribbling down the side of the chimney. So water issues are the _1 thing that you need to fix on a house to ensure its longevity. That comes before any sort of cosmetics, or before air sealing, before insulation. Water will destroy a building. So the pictures that I showed you are just an example of where you can see some water coming in, or some evidence of water that has come in. Lastly, I want to say is if you get up into the attic, you'll see that people had some pieces of plywood. You could get also OSB. OSB stands for orientated strand board. You can go to your local home store and they'll probably have like the 70 or 80% off, like the lumber that's like twisted a little bit or it's not perfect. You can buy some of that crap, put it up in your attic so you have something to crawl onto so that you don't fall through the ceiling. That would be a really great video to watch, but probably cost you a little bit of money to fix. So you want to make sure you have those boards that you can kneel on as you're moving around up there. And then finally, if you are in your attic and you look up at the underside of your roof, you're going to see some pieces of wood. That wood is called sheathing, right? It's typically, like in my early 1950s home, it was made of plywood. It could also be OSB, which is like a composite wood that's all glued together. It looks like a mishmash. But if you see blackness on that wood as you're looking up at it, that might be mold. So that's just, if you see it, it might be what you're looking at. So just a heads up. Don't freak out yet, but be aware of what you're seeing. And there was some of that in my attic, and I'll talk about how I address that later. So I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you. I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm just giving you some tips about what I saw when I went up into my attic for the first time as a new homeowner. And you might have similar things in your attic as well. Stay tuned for how I fix these issues properly using building science, doing things slowly, methodically, and correctly, and most importantly, or maybe not most importantly, but on a budget, and learning as I go, and doing things so that I have a safe home that will last for tens, maybe even another 100 years, but a long time, a healthy home.